what we're searching for. Ooh, is the world everyone is happy. The world that we must find is the world everyone is free.
Ma Omega the Last. My questions to you today are: have you ever been stolen from before? How do you feel about the experience of being robbed yesterday, where your phone, documents, money, and other valuables were lost? Since you advocate for humanity, what's your take on people who want to take from others? What's the potential of humans in a good world you advocate for? Is there a solution to people stealing from others? Tell us more about the Good Foundation book, where you state about ways to eliminate evil and make the world a paradise. Is this a possibility?
Thank you very much, Genius Keys. Those are very good questions. I have been stolen from countless times. I am someone who loves people, and the policy of my life has been that when I meet people, I take them as human beings, and I don't judge them unless they prove otherwise. But considering that so many people are not happy because of the way the world is, when you try to be nice with people who are not happy, you expose yourself to people who are so sad that they don't mind what they do. So yes, people steal from me all the time in many different ways. But above all, I truly believe that nothing belongs to anyone. So when I lose something, I bless it and wish it to end up in good use. I tell it to go and solve a problem that I couldn't solve directly, to serve a good purpose or need wherever it will end up. But still, I sympathize with the people who take other people's things. It means that they don't have what they need, or they're not happy with what they have. Although it's quite painful to lose something that one needs, something like a phone could contain data that is more than its financial value. When you have used the phone for a while, it becomes like a part of you. If somebody takes it away from you, suddenly it disorganizes you. It's such a pain. Everyone feels that pain of losing something that is dear to them. People who take from you do so because they value your things more than what they have. It's not very easy to understand, but take, for example, you can't go to take dirty clothes of a mad person who sleeps in the street. Why? Because you feel that what you have is better. One of the other reasons why people take other people's things is probably because they don't have anything at all. They're desperate. And that can make people lose their minds and do horrible things. And there are those who have a lot but don't know that what they have is more. That may be termed a mental health problem. I must feel pity for people then who take from me, given that I don't have everything I want. I would like to have countless yachts, private jets, all different types of cars, mansions, and palaces, every good thing in life, in quantum, all over the world, to experience the creativity of different people who made them, who created them. But how can that be possible? The only way that can be possible is if everything in the world is free. If everything is free, you can travel around the world and enjoy everything you like wherever you go. That's the kind of world that is possible. But since humans are limited to understanding that this is possible, people then are limited to only what they have, and they take pride in it and feel like they're on top of the world because of what? Ignorance. Therefore, we should rather feel pity for the people in that situation. Our priority should then be to find out why humans are behaving like animals and what should be done to correct that, so that everyone in the world can be able to make a positive contribution. It doesn't make sense to think that people come into the world to become useless. Neither does it seem wise to think that there is not enough resources to sustain the people in the world. There is abundant human and material resources. The limitation being the lack of the intellectual ability to recognize and use these resources in a way that creates more abundance in the world up to a point when everybody can have what they need to reach their full potential in order to make meaningful contributions to this world. If people have what they need and still take what belongs to other people, it means that such people are unwell, and it should be everyone's concern to help the sick. The thing to do is to look at things objectively to understand that people who do violence and the things that society doesn't want is only one side of the coin. The real issue is what causes it? And the answer is not far-fetched. To understand the cause of it, you just only have to look at the jungle. It is as simple as that. You see that animals are desperate. Animals eat each other because they're hungry. They need food. It's not a fancy thing for them to eat one another. It is an act of desperation. The fact that they have high limitations, they lack the intellectual ability and physical structure that can enable them to build machines that would help them produce their needs like human beings. Therefore, as it is said, to whom more is given, much is expected. It is, to me, the responsibility of human beings to change all that because human beings have the capacity to make the world a lovely place. Examples abound everywhere. If you look around on TikTok, YouTube, and various social media platforms, you will see that the animals considered to be very dangerous are living with human beings today. The reason why human beings are behaving like animals, attacking one another and taking what is precious to each other mindlessly is because humans have used tools like money to create artificial scarcity. When people cannot be able to implement their heart desires and reach their full potential because of the limitations of money, they will have no other option but to act like the animals in the jungle, who would have no consideration for the pain the other goes through when taking advantage of their weaknesses to satisfy their own needs. If we want to tell ourselves the truth, we should be doing something about this. Well, it is not so easy to do. That is something that everyone knows. Why is it not easy to do? That is something that not everyone knows. It is not easy to do because the system raised us to think that life is all about competition. The other side of the coin is the people who think that being above everyone else is the only way to be. And the way to achieve that is to own everything. So they keep taking and taking, depriving and denying other people from having a meaningful life until desperation sets in and they begin to do mindless things. Why do you need the power? A wise man once said that love is enough to do everything. We only need power when we want to do wrong, when we want to force things, we want to make things be what they are not. We want to seem to be more than a human being, and yet there is nothing else you can be if you're a human being. You cannot be above or below a human being. That's the essence of you. That's who you are, a human being. You do all the things that a human being does, except that your understanding is wrong. That by being or having A, B, C, D, you are above other human beings. But that's not a reality. You will die when your time comes, just like a normal human being. And everything that once mattered to you will mean nothing anymore. But who is to be blamed in all of this? No one. The reality is that every human being is a victim of the system because the system made us believe that life is all about competition. But this competition derived from the jungle was based on animals competing for survival because of the scarcity that they endure in the jungle. The idea of the system basing survival of humans on competition does not take into consideration the fact that human beings have been able to create an abundance of the things that they use. And the inability of humans to see this is because life is a cycle. Every generation of human beings pass through the upbringing in the animalistic family system that we derive from the jungle, which ingrains it in the mind and blinds us from seeing that human beings have created so much abundance and no longer face the situation of scarcity that animals face in the jungle. Now, the system is not something that was created by anyone at all. It came with nature. That is why the order of the world that human beings follow is exactly the order in the jungle that animals follow. So you have the queen, you have soldier ants, you have all manner of authorities that run the system for ants. The same way, we think that the order of life has to be like that hierarchy that was created by nature. But all of this is a mistake because human beings don't strictly follow nature. Human beings modify nature to suit their purpose. That is why the world has remained the same since time immemorial. Our ancestors didn't have a lot of resources and they fought each other because of that. Now we have a lot and we use those resources to fight each other instead of complementing one another to help build the abundance so that everyone could have what they need to be happy. What is wrong in the system is the bad foundation. The book, The Good Foundation by Ma Omega the Last, is all about creating the right foundation for a good world so that everything will begin in a good way and end in a good way. We are all victims of the foundation that made us think that we have to run life like ants, whereby some ants are workers for the others. As intelligent beings, we ought not to emulate lower creatures. Only human beings can be able to change this situation because human beings have the intelligence that, when combined with other resources in the world, create beautiful things and good things. But it's only by knowing where the problem lies that human beings can be able to change things. And before now, that has never been possible. Our ancestors used to live in the jungle, in caves, until we built homes and all the beautiful things that we use in the world. But in all of time, all generations of humans have used the resources available to them to fight. And that has made it impossible for the world to become a place of enjoyment and happiness, but instead has remained a place of pain and misery, just like the jungle, and will remain so until something is done about it. A place where good things does not bear fruit, where a good thing can end up in a bad way. And good and bad are always side by side because of following traditions and continuing to see things from the perspective of our ancestors, that there is scarcity when we have the capacity to create abundance. So, the people who take from others are two types of people: the ones who take violently and the ones who take silently. The ones who take silently are the reason why others take violently, because they quietly take more than they need and create the scarcity that makes the other people take violently. The act of taking violently is caused by desperation. When people have no hope, they do desperate things. So, what we are looking for is a good world. A world where everyone is happy. The world that we missed. The world that we need to give to the people we say we love. Our children, their children, and all future generations. For all generations to say that our generation made the world good, so that we will become the generation that changed the world.
We must rise. We have a duty to build a good world. Everybody wants. Since it must be, let it be now. We will become the generation who change the world.